Again, his name is Romeo Marquez Jr. The name of the book is The Success Messages. Go ahead and check it out now on Amazon.com.
The Success Messages, and then if you want to see like little inspirational videos, you can go on YouTube and find my name. Actually, I actually have a TED Talk. It's called "It's Time to Take Action on Your Passion," and I would love for you to check that out. You could just go to YouTube, and it's called, and you just type in Romeo Marquez Jr. Or it's time to take action for you. It's time to take action for your passion, and then just write the word TED, and then it's an 18-minute talk of positivity. I do a lot of speaking all around the world, around the country, and it could be from young high school students to college students to entrepreneurs to business professionals to police officers to inmates. So I hit a wide range of different markets and pretty much just reminding them of who they are and what they're capable of. I also teach acting. I'm a college professor where I teach acting and performance skills. Have some students that are, just getting in the game. And then I have students on, Nickelodeon and Disney, in that realm, in the entertainment industry. Yeah, my background is, film and television, right? I've done a little small stuff, like I've done music videos with, the Black Eyed Peas and Kelly Clarkson and other independent artists, got into the Screen Actors Guild, meeting like people like Jim Carrey and The Rock and all these guys, because, performance is my background, like that's my thing, but my thing now, combining it with performance, is inspiring people and reminding them of the possibilities, because I know as an artist, it's difficult, it's hard, there's a lot of rejection, so forth and so on. And that's not even just in the music industry, but just everywhere you go. And, the part of the book, The Success Messages, is to remind people of their potential, because, we all need that dose of inspiration now and then. And I call it a fortune cookie book, in other words. So, just bringing that life and light to people and, letting them know that they got something in them.
When you came back to the Bay, what exactly made you want to get into public speaking and the public inspiration talks? Exactly what was it that motivated you into actually going into that direction? What made you want to do that?
So I've always been teaching, right? Acting, and it was more than just acting. It's, just life skills and success principles. And then there was a time I moved up to the Bay because I was doing this theater tour in Northern California. And then I opened up an acting school, and then in Danville, and then I opened up a performing arts school in Palo Alto, and then that folded. And then I was like, dang, I gotta step up my game. And then I was like, while I was, studying acting, I was like really studying like the business side of speaking, like how are these people doing this and making money while I'm just here teaching and teaching them the same principles. And so it's not that it just happened a few years ago. It's just knowing that I've been a student of the work for a long time, but stepping into that business side because, here's what I wanted to say, because I knew that my worth and my teachings or my presence was more than just a one line on a TV show. Like, I knew I had something to offer. And so there became that sticking point where I said, screw this, F this, I'm stepping into my power because I have something to say and I have something to share that I know that will inspire others. And little did I know that I was going to, travel across the world sharing that exact same thing, that not just like, if I could do it, you could do it. And I'm still a student and still learning from people.
The name of the book is The Success Messages, Inspirations to Recharge Your Passion, Potential, and Purpose. Written by the homie Romeo Marquez Jr., my man from back in the days, you feel me? Let everybody know where exactly they can go ahead and purchase this book.
So you can get the book on Amazon. It was actually a #1 bestseller. I think it's down the list now, but it hit #1 on Amazon. So you can go to Amazon.com, just either type my name in, Romeo Marquez Jr., or you could type in The Success Messages. And, I didn't even talk about The Success Messages really, but it's really a fortune cookie book where it's just doses of inspiration, of just possibilities, in other words. And a couple of messages that I do want to leave you guys with while I'm still thinking of the other C, the fifth C.
You might have to just call back in after you remember it.
One message I want to share with you is when God gives you a calling, stop sending them the voicemail.
Say that one more time, please.
When God gives you a calling, stop sending them the voicemail.
Exactly.
Because God's saying, the higher source, whatever it is you believe in, he's telling you, like, do this, you should do this. And, that voice goes, yeah, I'll do it later. And then you're praying for whatever it is, but you're hearing this calling, and stop sending them the voicemail, like, answer that call, right? And there, you just move forward on that. And another one is now, the acronym for now. Like, when you do things now, you have new opportunities waiting. When you do it now, you have new opportunities waiting. NOW, and I know people don't like the word swag, or, people use that and like, that's old school, or that's what the young folks. But because I speak to a lot of young folks, I say, here's my definition of swag. Actually, here's my acronym for swag. And I say, swag stands for this: stop waiting and go.
There you go.
Keep it moving. Just stop waiting and go. Because there are times where we're just waiting. We're waiting for the right moment. Nah. While you wait for opportunities, here's another success message. While you wait for opportunities, you create opportunities. And I just want to say that Mr. Big H is a great example of that, of making moves and making it happen. And that's why you're hearing him on this radio show right now, helping y'all young artists to be that success, because you are a success, because great things are in store for y'all.
One unfortunate thing I've been noticing, especially with the years going by and with the music changing and the technology growing and this and that, I've been noticing kind of a level of discouragement in some of these artists out here. Sometimes they get in their little zones. They start to feel powerless. They start to maybe their mind starts to get overloaded with a lot of negative thinking. A lot of the times, a lot of that negative thinking comes from outside sources and other people telling them, hey, you're old, you're this, or you don't have enough money, you can't do it, you're living in an age where the corporations are pretty much running everything and it's impossible for you to go ahead and come out and do anything. How would you, what advice would you give to those artists out there as far as how to manage discouragements and how to keep up a line of positive thinking when you got, when you constantly just have people trying to bring you down and trying to tell you that you can't do it? How do you manage discouragement, and how do you keep up a level of positive thinking in your mind?
My 2 cents on that is a question to ask yourself is, what are my current environments like? You know what I mean? So it's like, who are you surrounding yourself with? Where are you spending most of your time? Who are you communicating and connecting with most of the time? What is the environment you're in, or you're feeding yourself in your head? Like, what kind of environment is your brain and your thoughts in? Because check this out. There's this equation that goes something like this. It's event plus response equals outcome. I don't really like math, except when it comes to, numbers and you're making money, So,
I feel you.
But the equation of event plus response equals outcome goes like this. So there's an event, right? A certain circumstance, and we know we can't change the circumstance. However, we can change the response, and that will determine our outcome. So, for example, so here's a great example. So you're in traffic, right? It's like, dang, you're late, and you have to get somewhere. That's the event. Now, my response could be, man, this is bullshit. What the hell am I doing? What are these people? Why are they driving so slow? Right. I should have left earlier. Man, this driver can't drive. And, you're getting all that. And then the outcome is, you're getting fueled up, frustrated, and mad. And
you're burned out. You're burned out because of it.
And you're burning yourself out. So what if I did just change my response? So my response would be, so the event is, or I have to go to this meeting or whatever it is, and then it's traffic, and then I could switch up my response and be like, you know what, this is a good opportunity for me to write a song right now. Or this could be an opportunity for me to make that call that I've been putting off for the longest time. This could be a time where, I'm going to hit an instrumental and rap out a song and just like record it on my phone, right? And then it's like that, and then the E plus R equals, and then the outcome is you reconnected with a friend or a producer. You have a new song, but now you're in a different state. So it's not about what happens to you, but what happens within you. So surround yourself with those good people that will lift you up. And let's say, I know that I've met a lot of people that, don't have full control of who they hang out with. Like, they just, they're the homies and best friends and family. Like, those are some of the people that are bringing us down, right? But you can also find mentors. That's a key thing, too, finding a mentor. And you can find positive people in books. Now, if you're like most people, maybe books ain't your thing, but you listen to audios. There's podcasts that will lift you up. Maybe you could listen to it when you're driving, or maybe you just read it for like 5 minutes. So in other words, it's like that. I was just telling somebody this earlier. Well, think about like when you eat like French fries or pizza and chicken and like all this oily stuff. Like, it's good for the moment, but after a while, it starts to bring you down. You get tired and you don't feel at your best, right? And it's because it's what you feed yourself. And then you got the other part where you're feeding yourself with, I could say fruits and vegetables, but a healthier meal, and so you can feel more energized, and like drinking more water because your body contains 70% water, right? And then so you have this good fluid and this good food within you, and that's why you feel energized. And so I want you to ask yourself, what am I currently feeding myself? And then that's your thoughts, right? Here's the thing. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And then another great quote for, when it comes to discouragement and you feel like you're at your lowest, know that John Wooden, he's like one of the most winningest coaches in NCAA history. He says, do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do, right? Do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. And so you might not be able to get a hold of certain things or can't do certain things, but I guarantee you could do a whole lot of things with what you have right now. Now, I have one more quote. Michael Jordan says, I failed over and over and over and over again, and that is why I succeed. Thomas Edison, he said this. He said, or a news reporter said, so Mr. Thomas Edison is the guy that created the light bulb. So he goes, Thomas Edison, so you failed 10,000 times to make the light bulb. He goes, no, I just tried 10,000 different ways not to make the light bulb.
How does an individual in the hip hop and entertainment game become successful? What kind of attributes and criteria does an individual have to have in order to be successful in the not just in the music game, but in the entertainment industry altogether, in your own personal opinion?
There are 5 C's to success, depending on your market. And the way it applies to music is this. The first C is creativity. Especially musicians and music artists, they have that special creativity and that creative juice flowing within them. And then sometimes we knock out our creativity and just push it off to the side. But honestly, write those ideas down because you might use it for later. Number 2 is like connections. And when I say connections, it's the connections, of building relationships in the industry. And it's not just like, oh yeah, that person, could get me that and could get me this, and they could do this for me. But to take that connection to a whole nother level is not just what you can get from them, but what you can give and share with them, and how you can give value to them. The third C is collaboration. As artists in general, we want to do things all by ourselves, and we got this. But every song, every movie, film, any successful business has not happened on their own. They could say, oh yeah, I did this all on my own, I hustled on my own, but get this, Who built that studio for you? Did you build the studio? Some people could say, yeah, I built it. Who created that microphone? Who put that microphone together? Who put those headphones together for you? You know what I mean? Okay. So it's a collaborative effort, and, you know, rather than just, you know, the studio itself, but, you know, collaborating with other artists. And the way I look at it is not competition, but it's a cooperation thing, working together. And you'll get the you'll just feel when you want to connect with somebody, and if you know that don't ride, if it doesn't happen, it's okay, but at least you're moving towards that. The fourth one is consistency. You know, sometimes we're at it, and then we stop because, you know, life happens and circumstances kick in, and then you have to grind another way, and, you know, you put your music to the side, so forth and so on. But the thing is, in order for you to stay in the game or hit the game, right, and in order for you to, you know, get to the level you want to be, is to stay consistent. And that just means like putting it material out all the time, even though if you get one view or one listener, because what you're doing is you're actually planting seeds. And the more you harvest, the more you reap, right? And the more listeners you'll get eventually. And if you look at, and you know this, you look at all these artists, they are not a one-hit wonder. Sometimes they say, I mean, you'll see that they're a one-hit wonder, but they've been in the studio before that. Like Too Short is a great example of that. You know, he just like taped and just like out of the trunk, and, you know, especially with all these independent artists, you know, some of them, they just make that CD and then that's it. But it's what are you going to do after that CD? How many more CDs do you want to push? Maybe you want to do, and then here goes back to goal setting. How many songs do you want to push out in 1 week, 1 day, 1 month? Because, you know, as an artist, it's a grind, it's a hustle, but it's an all the time thing. It's an everyday thing, and just being consistent. Your strength is in the struggle, and so as you move through that struggle, it really is a test of your strength. And for every setback, there's a setup for something, right? For every test, there's a testimony. For every mess, there's a message, and that's why there's good music, because it helps them bring forth that. The last one is called, the last C is to celebrate. Because sometimes we're at it. We forget to celebrate our wins, whether it be small or big. So recognize that as you're moving and hustling, celebrating yourself, whether it be at the end of the day or at the end of the week, is important, because it lets you know that you're making progress.
Very dope, very dope. All right, brother, thank you very much for that information. They'll find this interview on YouTube within coming weeks. As soon as I get the opportunity to put this together, I'll slap it up there, and they'll definitely get an opportunity to hear this in the future again.
All right, appreciate you, bro.
No doubt, brother. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight. That was the homie Romeo Marquez, you dig?